Here's a great way to pass it down. Hi everyone, it's Sherry. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. Let's do something that quite a few of you might enjoy. Stay tuned. Welcome to my channel, friends. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much in advance for those of you who are going to engage with me today in such a positive way. I truly appreciate those of you who woke up this morning and decided that you were going to make the world a little bit better by being positive, encouraging, and supportive. Thank you. So today we're going to make an item that I get requests for from time to time, and I don't do it very often on my channel because every time I've done this particular project, it has not been very popular. And unfortunately, with YouTube being the way that it is and the algorithm being the way that it is, part of what I have to focus on as a content creator is trying to put out those things that are going to get views and get people interested and engaged with my channel. I wish it wasn't that way. I wish I could just craft anything and everything all the time. But unfortunately, that's not how YouTube works. So I do try to primarily focus on those things that I really enjoy doing while trying to balance that with what is going to keep eyes on my channel and keep my channel growing, and quite honestly, keep my income as steady as possible. But today we are going to make one of those projects that historically is not a popular project for my channel, but it might be helpful to some. So here is what I'm talking about. We are going to make this adorable recipe box. If recipe boxes aren't your thing and you're not interested in making these, I get it. But I hope that you'll give the video a chance and stick around until the end. When finished, my box is about 6 1/8 by 2.5, and it is 3.5 inches high. I'm going to flip to my overhead camera to give you a closer look at this cutie, but y'all know what time it is. It's time to make it. All right, friends, so here's a closer look at today's project. Like I said, when finished, it measures 6 1/8, 2.5 inches deep, 3.5 inches tall, and we have this lid that is removable like this. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the lid so that you can see what we have here. I just have some blank cards on the inside, and my cards are approximately 3.25 by 5 inches in size, but you can see on the inside we have these little dividers here so that your cards won't flop back and forth. They'll actually sit up pretty straight. And then we have this nice little platform base. And this part of the project is chipboard, so I am going to show you just how easy it is to make this. So if you have some favorite family recipes and you want to gift them to someone, this is a beautiful way to give the gift of passing down recipes. So this is going to be a chipboard project. If you don't have chipboard, please use whatever hardboard you have that you think will work for this. Your cardboard, your cereal boxes, shoe boxes, those types of things might be suitable alternatives for this. If you're interested in the chipboard that I'm using or any of the products that I'm using on my channel, please check the description box for my Amazon storefront link. You'll find a whole bunch of different things that I use. Not everything is going to be there because I don't have a link for everything, but you will find some of the most commonly used items in that Amazon storefront link. So for my chipboard, I have 2 pieces that measure 2.5 by 2.5. I have 1 piece that measures 2.5 by 6. I have 1 piece that measures 3 1/8 by 6.5. And I have 2 pieces that measure 3.5 by 6. And then I have 4 pieces of 12 by 12. We're going to cut these down together so that you can see how the process actually works. So I'm going to start with one of these pieces first, and I'm going to take my chipboard pieces that measure 3.5 by 6 and 2.5 by 6, and we're going to put them down. So I have already added double stick tape to the back. I'm going to go ahead and just peel away the tape backers from all of my chipboard pieces that I'm about to lay down. I am going to be placing them down so that I have about 1/8 of an inch in spacing in between my chipboard pieces. Like that. And then we'll take that last piece and we're going to put it down with about 1/8 of an inch in spacing in between. I'm going to flip over, use my big old spatula to get everything nice and stuck. If you're interested, my daughter's website is now open for pre-orders. I will have it linked in the description box below. She has some wonderful Posh branded items that she is making available. So now I'm just going to cut away my excess paper, and I'll cut away a little bit of this as well. And then I'm going to take my stylus, press it against the chipboard, and drive it into the paper. This helps to loosen the fibers. It also helps to train the paper to fold over. If you have a paper that's prone to cracking, doing this might help to loosen those fibers enough that it minimizes the cracking. I can't say that it'll stop it, but it might minimize the severity of it. And I even like to go on the inside like this. So now I'm going to take this, stand it up, and get it ready to fold over. And because we pre-scored going around, you can see how easy that fold over is going to be. But before we fold over, I am going to take my finger blade and we are going to miter our ends. And by mitering, we are simply cutting in this way and this way at the edge so that we can do our fold over. So I am just going to cut and cut all the way around. And now I'm going to take my tape runner, and I can use tape on this because I'll be sandwiching these fold over pieces in between the chipboard and the inside liner. So I am just going to take some tape, add some tape, and I'll stand up and fold over on all 4 sides, and then I'll go back and I'll get everything nice and stuck. So I'll just take my big old spatula, get this stuck. And so there is my jacket. I'm going to bring in my scoreboard so that I can figure out the sizes for the inside liner. So I always reduce by 1/4 of an inch. And this is showing 9 3/4. So I'll reduce that by 1/4 and make it 9 1/2. And this is 6, and I'm going to reduce it by 1/4, and we're going to make it 5 3/4. So I'll be cutting 9 1/2 by 5 3/4. And I am going to use my striped paper for this. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut this at 5 3/4. By 9 1/2. And now we can take this, and when we put it down, you can see how it's going to fit. So I am just going to take my tape and I am going to place my tape on this piece to cover the chipboard, and then we'll place tape around the inside liner so that we can join these two together. So now I'll take my inside liner and place my tape around the edges of this piece. So let's peel away our tape backers from the liner as well as the jacket, and we will join these two pieces together. So let's take this piece and we're going to put it down like that. Now I'll take my big old spatula. We're going to make sure that we get our papers stuck together. Going around my edges, getting everything nice and stuck. Now I will work my spine. Go in there, just make sure. And I'll come at it from this direction. And we're working that spine. We're going to bring in the two pieces that measure 2.5 by 2.5. Place them down. On this piece. And basically I'm just going to place them down like this on one end. And then I'll do the same thing on this end. And I'm just going to cut and flare out a little bit. And then I'll cut here. When I get to the tip, I'll flare out a little bit. And now I have these two pieces. I'm just going to go ahead and cut in half. And we are going to remove the excess here, remove the excess here. When you get to the point, just sort of flare out. Same thing here. Remove this excess. And remove this and flare out. So now I'm going to take my tape, place some tape on these two pieces. Now we can peel away the backer. We're going to take this piece, let's stand it up like this, and then let's just fold it over like that. And we trim away the excess. Let's do the same thing over here. Peel away. Peel away. Stand this up and fold it over. And then we just remove the excess. So now we are going to take these pieces, we put them in like this, and we fold up and we fold up. And this is going to be the side of the box. Now we're going to take our glue and do a technique that I have been doing on my channel since I have been on YouTube. And I like to take my glue. We're going to place our glue along the 3 raw edges. And we're going to take this, and when we put it in, we're going to put it in going in about 1/8 of an inch. We fold up and we fold up. Now I just need to look at this and we can straighten it however we like. So I'm going to slide that in just a little bit. And my Reptile adhesive will dry clear, so I am not worried if some is oozing out. It's going to dry very clear for me. So I am just going to take my finger, go along these edges like this, and clean up some of that glue. And then we just need to press down and squeeze in. So squeeze in those sides and press down. So I am going to take my bone folder and just push that in a little bit. So I'll just hold this in place for a moment until it's had a chance to set up. And normally I hold it for like a minute or two so that it'll set up nicely, and then we'll do the other side. All right, so what I did to hold it in place, I used some washi tape, and that'll help to hold it until my glue settles. Now we'll take the second piece and we just put it in on this side, just like we did the first one. So I'm going to take my glue, add my glue to the 3 raw edges. And we're going to get this stuck. So now I'll take this piece. We're going to put it inside like this. Squeeze the sides. Press down and squeeze in. So you can see I went in about 1/8 of an inch. On the side, I'm going to clean up some of that excess glue. Place it on its side so I can get a piece of washi. Take this, put it on like that. And then I'll just bring it across like this. And now we'll hold everything in place. So we can take our platform base, which measures 3 1/8 by 6 1/2. I am going to go ahead and just remove my tape backers. Take this piece. We're going to place it down like that, using some scrap. So you're going to see me use this scrap in a way that you probably haven't seen me use scrap before. This is not going to cover everything, but I'm going to show you how we can make this work. So I am just going to angle in here, here, and miter, miter, miter. And this time I'm going to cut straight down pretty much. And I'll cut straight down pretty much here. So now I'm just going to add some tape. And some tape here. Put just a little bit of glue on these ends here. And now we will fold over and we'll get this stuck. Fold over here, get it stuck. And fold over here and get it stuck. Now I can peel away my tape backers. We can take this piece and we can fold it over like that. So now I'm going to take some glue, put some glue on the base here. We'll take this piece, and you see I have that opening there. I'm not really going to worry about that because when I put this piece down, y'all, it's going to cover it. So I'm just making sure that I have this nice and even on all 4 sides. And as a matter of fact, I didn't even have to do that fold over. I could have just left that off because I had enough coverage with the edge pieces. So I am just going in and getting this nice and stuck. And we just need to let this part dry. While this is drying, we're going to go ahead and make the insert for the box. So I am going to cut a piece that is 5 3/8 by 11. And we are going to score at 1/2 inch, at 2, at 3 1/2, at 4, at 5 1/2, at 7, at 7 1/2, at 9, and at 10 1/2. So we scored at 1/2 inch, at 2, at 3 1/2, at 4, at 5 1/2, at 7, at 7 1/2, at 9, and at 10 1/2. So the way that we're going to do this is, let's take that first 1/2 inch fold and let's just score it. Then we're going to tent fold this section here. So let's tent fold, and then let's just fold it like this. So we're going to go ahead and add our glue at this point. So we have that 1/2 inch part folded here. We have tent folded this section here. So we're going to go ahead and glue it so that we can get it out of the way. So let's fold over, get that stuck. So now we have this piece. We're going to take this score mark here and let's just fold it like that. So now we have this. And now we'll have these two wide panels here. We're going to tent fold them. And then we bend backwards. So we're going to add our glue. Everywhere that we have wide panels, we glue the two wide panels that are side by side. We glue those together. So I am just going to take my bone folder, which is perfect for this. And now I'll have a score next to it. I can go ahead and fold on that score. And hopefully you can see the lines. I have a wide panel here and a wide panel here. We just fold those two wide panels together, and then we fold that narrow panel back. So the key is, wherever you have a wide panel, go ahead and fold those two together and glue them together or tape them together. So I am just going to put this down, get that nice and stuck. Make sure they're all nice and stuck. And so when you're finished, it's going to be reduced to this, and it'll look like this on the bottom. So now I'm just going to take my glue, put glue on these pieces. I can take this, bring in my box, and I'm just going to put it inside. And I'll just look at it and place it where I want it to be. So let's see if we've got that straight. And because I'm using my glue, I do have a little bit of wiggle room. So now I'm just going to take my bone folder, go in and get that nice and stuck. And so now when you put your recipe cards in, you don't have to worry about them flopping all over the place, because they're going to get caught by these little separators that we have on the inside. So this part is done. Y'all, all that's left is for us to make the lid. All right, so to make our lid, we're going to need a piece that measures 11 1/4 by 9 3/4. And I have already cut mine to size. So on the 9 3/4 inch side, we're going to score at 3 1/2, rotate it to the opposite 9 3/4 inch side, and score at 3 1/2. Then we're going to turn it to the 11 1/4 inch side, and we score at 2 1/2. Rotate it to the opposite 11 1/4 inch side, and score at 2 1/2. So now we are going to fold and burnish all of our scores. Then I'm going to turn it to the side, and we are going to free these tabs here. So we go up to the score mark, and we cut straight down the middle of the score mark on both sides. And we have freed that score mark. We're going to do the same thing over here. So we go up to the score mark and cut straight down the center. Same thing over here. Go up to the score mark and cut straight down the center. And now we can put this together. But before I do, I'm going to go ahead and notch out my finger notches. So I am just going to take my oval punch, put it in a little bit, and punch. So when I put it together, I'll add some adhesive here, bring up, and fold over like that. So let's just take some glue, add some glue right there. We'll take one of these pieces and join it like that. Then I'll go on the inside, and we'll get this nice and stuck. And we'll do the same thing over here. Let's add that glue. Let's take this piece, matching it at the bottom, turn it onto its side, and get it stuck. Now we can take this piece. Let's add our glue. And this time we're going to match it so that the tops are nice and even. So I'll go in, get that stuck. We'll do the same thing here. Let's add that glue. Let's take this piece, put it on, making sure that the top is nice and even. Just go ahead and get that stuck. Now we should be able to take our lid and put it on our box and have it fit just like this. So I am going to remove that lid. I want to remove my washi. Should be nice and dry. So now we can put our lid back on. And y'all, we have a nice lid for the box. So the last thing that I'm going to do is I have these stickers, and I think that they are perfect for this particular box. This one I really like because it says, "Life is short, eat dessert first." And I am just going to take that and we're going to put it on right there. And now just like that, we have another beautiful recipe box. When you open it, you'll have those slots on the inside, just as we have here. You can take your recipe cards and put them in. And you can see that because we have those dividers in, you don't have to worry about them flopping all over the place. But I just thought that for those of you who wanted a recipe box, this is such a cute way. It's also a great idea for the new homeowners. Give them some of your favorite recipes in a beautiful box like this, or make these to sell at a craft fair, or make these to keep for you. So I hope that you've enjoyed today's super awesome way to make a recipe box. If you have, please hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, all day, every day, y'all, this is what we do, and this is how we do it. I can promise you, we're doing it like no other. So hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell so that you'll know when I upload a new video. As always, my friends, please be safe, be kind, and be the reason someone smiles today. Happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye. So when I made this box, I wanted the lid to be a little bit sturdier, so I added some inserts. Let me show you how easy that is to do using some of the scrap that we have remaining. So I'm going to remove this lid. I have some scrap pieces. I know that this is 6 1/4, so I am going to cut a piece at 6 1/8. And I know that it's 2 3/4 inches wide, so I am going to cut a piece at 1/2 inch. And we're going to take this piece and we just put it in, and that's just helping to reinforce the lid just a little bit. So all I'm going to do is add just a little bit of my glue. We'll take this piece, put it in the lid. Then I can take my bone folder, straighten everything out, and get that stuck. So I have strengthened the lid at the top, but I want to add a little bit of strength to the side. I'm not going to worry about these sides, but I just want the front and the back. I am going to cut 2 pieces that are 3 1/4. By 6 1/8. Then I'm going to take this piece and put it in, because I now need to notch out. So I'm just going to take my pen and I'll go around this piece, and hopefully you can see my mark, and I'll just take my punch, and I know if I punch a little bit larger, then I don't have to worry about that notch showing. So we are just going to add some glue to this piece. We'll take our box, I'll put this piece in, and hopefully you can see how that notch is not in my way. Take my bone folder, go in, get everything nice and stuck. We have now firmed this side. Let's do the same thing over here. So I am just going to take this piece, put it in, take this pin, and make a mark. Now I'll take my hole punch and just notch out. Then I'll take some glue, add some glue right here. Make sure I get a little bit around that opening. Now we can take this, we're going to put it in, and you can see that it is not hitting the notch. I'll just go in, get everything nice and stuck. And now we have a very firm lid for the box. You don't even need any chipboard on the lid, but now you have a beautiful recipe box.